Have you ever been in a situation where you go on a first date, things are going amazing, you go on a second date, you go on a third date, and then all of a sudden you start to feel uncomfortable in the dynamic of the relationship? Maybe you start to question the relationship itself. And the reason why I'm saying a relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you guys have to be boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever the case may be. It's just you are two individuals who have come together and are forming a new dynamic and getting to know one another, right? So you start to become uncomfortable, or you notice that as you start to share more things about yourself, that individual is becoming a little bit more uncomfortable, or you start to notice things about them that are making you uncomfortable. So what do you do about it? You set the expectations early on, right? So for me, it is incredibly important when you go on a first date to set the expectations. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be overbearing or aggressive or weird about it. It's just about being confident and knowing what you want and setting that expectation early on. If you relate to this, if this is something that you've experienced yourself, then you are watching the right video. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Danny and I'm a life and relationship coach, and I created this channel for you. I created this channel for people within the LGBTQIA+ community who are looking for a resource to be able to navigate dating and relationships and cultivating a healthy relationship with yourself. If that is something that you have been looking for, you have come to the right place. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So, number one, setting the expectations actually starts when you create your dating profile. If you are very elusive, if you're very mysterious on your profile, if you're not very specific about needs and wants, you're going to attract all kinds of people who are not serious, people who want hookups, maybe people who are looking for something seriously. And for me, it's really important to start to filter those people on your profile. So be very specific about what you're looking for. Let them know that you're looking for a long-term relationship. Let them know that you're looking for open communication and that you're looking for a partner who's going to be supportive and empathetic and understanding. Now, again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, and make sure that your expectations are realistic. Do not put on your profile that you're looking for somebody who makes over $100K a year, that drives a Maserati, that, dresses nice, that looks good, that has muscles, because at the end of the day, that's all superficial stuff. And if you are wanting a quality relationship, there are going to be certain things that you have to sacrifice in order to achieve that, right? So it all starts with your profile and making sure that you are congruent. So whatever you say on your profile, make sure it's honest, it's authentic, it's who you are. Because if you show up to that first date and nothing that you have on your profile actually translates, that's going to be incredibly confusing for the person that you're with, and you may potentially end up getting ghosted or not get a follow-up date, right? So putting those things on your profile means that you know what you want and what you expect. How is somebody supposed to know who you are if you don't even know who you are? How is somebody supposed to know what your expectations are if you don't even know what your expectations are? So being very clear on those things is important. If you haven't really sat down and thought about it, take a moment. Right? Grab a pen and paper and write down what you need and you expect out of a relationship. And after you have done that, take a look at it, reread it, and see what is realistic and what is not realistic. How much of what you've written on that page comes from your core values and how you expect to be treated based on how you treat others, and how much of that actually comes from previous relationships that have been traumatic for you and you haven't necessarily gotten over. There's a difference there, right? Because that'll differentiate between your ability to be vulnerable on a date and show this person who you truly are. So it's important that you do the work prior to going on the date. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to learn new things about yourself when you go on these dates. And I totally encourage going on dates and getting comfortable with them and understanding how you interact with somebody new and how you flirt and how you communicate and how you talk. But again, it's important to have an understanding of who you are so that they know who you are, which leads me to my next point, which is clear communication. Communicating those expectations in a confident and sexy way, right? Not in an aggressive, very strict, regimented type of way. Because if you do that, that's going to be a total turnoff for the person that you are on a date with. Because honestly, they're just going to feel like they're getting into a relationship with somebody who has all kinds of rules. They're going to lose their independence and they're going to be stuck having to please you and satisfy you 24/7. So it's important to keep it cool, calm, and relaxed, but pay attention to things that are said and ask questions, right? Instead of you just immediately off the bat being like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I'm looking for, listen, interact, ask questions. Because in doing that, you start to learn bits and pieces and you start to figure out whether this person is a good fit for you or not. And you don't necessarily have to say it out loud of like, oh, I don't like that, or oh, that's not something that works for me. You can if you want, but even just gathering the information and processing it and saying, okay, I'm not necessarily sure if this is going to be something that I want or that works for me is going to be helpful in again, staying aligned and true to your expectations and your needs. Like I said, it's not always about communicating your needs and your expectations. It's also about listening and seeing if that aligns with who you are and what you expect. And the last part of this is be real about it, right? Be your true, authentic self. If you're goofy, be goofy. If you like to talk about particular subjects, talk about those subjects, because this essentially is you putting yourself out there and seeing if this person is a good fit for you. And on the topic of being real, if this person doesn't connect with you or you don't connect with them and you feel like there are certain things that just don't align with your core values or what you're looking for, it's okay to end the date and say, hey, look, I had a great time. It was really nice getting to know you, but I don't think that this is particularly what I'm looking for right now. I wish you nothing but the best and good luck on your future and whatever it is that you are doing in your life. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, for me, clarity is kindness, right? Being open and honest and not leading this person on and not letting it get to a place where you have to let this person down and reject them is so important. You know, it's also about being mature in the situation. Don't ghost this person. Don't not talk to them ever again, because if you've ever been ghosted, that does not feel good. And if you've dealt with rejection in your life and you are still struggling with acceptance and really kind of coming into your own, to reject somebody else would just be perpetuating the very thing that you don't like and that you fear yourself. So why would you do that to somebody else if you don't like that being done to you? Let's be mature adults here. Let's change the culture a little bit. Let's not be immature about the situation, because that maturity in and of itself shows a level of confidence that most people do not have. So, like I said, it starts with the app. It's about knowing what your wants and your desires are, right? Your needs and expectations, about communicating those things clearly, and about being real with the situation, with yourself. Knowing what it is you want and being okay communicating that in a kind manner. Now, if you struggle with dating, if you struggle with getting to know individuals, if you struggle with really knowing what your needs and your expectations are, because it's not something that you've given some thought to, I will provide a link in the description box down below for a one-on-one coaching session. Let's sit down and let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. Let's make sure that we figure it out so that when you do go on a date, you feel confident. You feel like you know what it is you're doing on that date, and that exponentially increases your chances of being able to lock down something long term. And if that is something that you are looking for, I am more than happy to help you through that. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you tell me about your experiences. If you've ever had a good first date, a bad first date, if you struggle with any one of these things, let me know so we can have a discussion about it, right? This is a safe environment. This is a community where we can all sit and express our own personal experiences within the dating world in the queer community. So again, make sure you leave a comment down below. I read as many as I can. I comment or I respond to as many as I possibly can as well. In case you missed it, my name is Danny. I am a life and relationship coach. I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.